Full sculptured gel nails. Maybe we'll throw in a little bit of glitter in there. How long is that gonna take? Let's find out right now on Real Time. All right, Trace, full sculptured gel nails. Before we get into that, nice apron.
Thank you. I'm going somewhere tonight. I want to protect my clothing.
I totally understand
Since I
that.
decided to wear all black for filming today.
Good choice. You're welcome for the apron. I know that was my pick, so you're welcome. So talk about what you have for us today.
We have naked nails, and we're going to do a full set of nude gel, hard gel, and maybe we'll sprinkle some glitter in there. She hasn't decided yet, but we're going to keep it pretty simple. Just do some beautiful nude nails.
How long would you book out in the salon for a full sculptured gel set?
Sight unseen, an hour.
1 hour.
Yeah, that way I can pretty much deal with anything unexpected. All that being said, she would have already texted me like, I know she doesn't want any insane art that's going to cost me a half an hour or anything like that. So knowing what she wanted and that she has bare nails, an hour.
Okay, and how do you know that you can actually do gel on her without seeing her nail beds? Like, that's kind of a question, because sometimes you need acrylic, right? In this case, she's coming in and you're like, you're getting a full set of gels. How do you know that?
She sent me a picture of her nails. Or actually, she's around all the time. I see her every day, so I know.
Well, yes, but in the salon world,
you just have them. That's the beautiful thing. Like, the consultation anymore is through text message. Just, hey, can you shoot me a picture of both hands, and then shoot me an idea of what you're looking for.
Perfect. Awesome. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start by pushing back the cuticle and get that all done. So this is probably Stephanie's 27th set so far, and it's just Thursday. So, you know what? I think a lot of people have a misconception that gel is prepped a different way than acrylic, and it's not. It actually is prepped exactly the same way. And I think this is where we get, I don't know about you, Steph, but have you ever heard that like gel's way better for the natural nail than?
Yes.
Heard that?
A lot of preferences.
Yeah. It actually makes no difference because the prep work is exactly the same. But it did used to be true. And the reason it used to be kind of true, got a little gel polish left over, get off of there, is we used to kind of really rough up the nail for acrylic, like bad. And then we would use a methacrylic primer, so an acid primer, which, you know, is doing a little more work to the natural nail. And then with gels, we'd use something like Protein Bond, that is a non-acid primer. So I guess back in the day, it kind of used to be true, but now we use a non-acid primer for either one, so not really true anymore. Or at least we do. So what else we got?
Can you go over some of the ways in which you would determine what is better for a client? You mentioned before, like, when you would decide what was better, acrylic or gel for a certain client. What are some of the reasons?
For sure. So, like, if a client comes to me or they send their pic and they've got bitten nails or they got ski slope nails or they got some kind of damage, or let's say they have wide nails, something that I really want to be able to pinch and create a nice upper arch and kind of try to fix the damage that they've done to themselves, I'm going to put acrylic on them. Or let's say you work on a loading dock and you're lifting boxes all day. I don't know that that's ever happened, but just saying, I'm going to put acrylic on you because that's really what your hands are telling me they need. Now, if you come to me, let's say you work in water all day, you work in chemicals all day, you have fairly nice natural nails because gel loves a healthy nail plate, I'm going to put gel on you because it's non-porous. It's not going to break down in that water. It's not going to break down in chemicals. It has that flexibility behind it. So really, that's what I'm going to put on you. However, it used to be that and it was true actually. I remember acrylics were like these 2x4s, and then gels were like thinner. But the chemistry has just gotten so much better that gels and acrylics, when they walk out the door, you really shouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
It should be the same thinness. You should be able to get the same kind of arch. The only difference is the fact that I can really pinch a curve in and give you some of that additional strength with that curve versus a gel. Gel, it doesn't have that bend. I can't pinch it and give you that strength. And why that's important is if you have bitten nails or something like that, that curve is really going to give us the additional support. It's like there's a reason why they always build bridges. Most bridges have arches in it, and it's for strength. So same thing, the more we put an arch in, the stronger the nail's going to be.
Gotcha. I actually, when I first learned gel, I wore a hand built out of each. One hand built out of acrylic and one hand built out of gel because I wanted to see what the differences were. I wasn't very familiar with gel. And as far as wearing it, I couldn't tell a difference at all. Working on it, I absolutely could. Like filing into it, it's much different, a lot softer. But as far as the person wearing it, I really couldn't tell a difference whatsoever. They were both as durable and looked good, and same thickness, all of that.
Exactly. And that's people think they can tell a difference, and a lot of times because we use gel top coats even over the acrylics, like if you ask a person, like, tell me which one's acrylic and which one's gel, they usually can't tell you. So and then that's another reason why I don't create a different pricing structure for them.
Right.
Because
then they'll choose one.
They'll choose one over the other. And there are some people that would come in and say, but I really want gel. I'll be like, listen, your nails are telling me you need acrylic. However, what we can do is we can get that pinch, we can get that structure started, and we'll go ahead and start filling you with gel. And that works great. That's not a problem to do.
So this one first is base?
This is base. So we're going to put base down. This is going to be our foundation layer. Again, we get asked a lot. I don't know about you, but I get asked a lot, can I skip base? I know people that have. I just really would never recommend it. It's just that foundation. I always say it's like a foundation to a house. It's nice and thin, but it gives the house structure. If you didn't have a foundation, then everything will crumble. Go ahead and stick it in. So go ahead and get the forms on this one while that one's curing. What other questions have we had recently?
A lot of comments about, I know that if it was a return client like myself, the cuticles are pretty maintained. But when it is a new client and you have like mountain cuticles, then what do you do?
You got to take care of it, but pushing back the cuticles and using that electric file is going to be your best friend. I know some people will be like, well, I take cuticle remover and I apply it. I guess if you had someone very severely bad, but I really do not recommend anything that you're going to put on the nail that potentially has oils or can interfere with the bond that you're about to try to apply with whatever product, acrylic or gel. I really don't recommend it. Usually 99% of the time you can take care of it with pushing back and using that electric file. And then you have to use water to get the process to stop. And anytime you never want to kind of do like a manicure prior to an artificial service. It just can really cause problems with the bonding. So if you notice, I put the forms on her one hand before I went to this one and put the base on. There's a couple reasons for that. One, I like to only put the forms on because usually they'll jack up the other hand while you are working on the other hand. So meaning like if I did the forms and then I did these forms while I was putting the base on that, she could run into the potential of messing this up. So if I put the forms on, get the base on, they put their hand in the light, and usually the customer will leave it in the light like you did, even after it went off, and it keeps them still.
Safe spot.
Safe spot. Next. So we are just going to go straight to our concealer peach because we're just doing a nude set. There's no need to really do a clear extension. We're just going to go into the peach and create our free edges with that.
I know the question will come. What is up with heat spikes? Why do they happen? How do you stop them?
Yeah. So heat spikes are the gel curing. And so if you have someone, sorry, Habib's in my head. Ooh, he's quiet today. I like this
for long.
I like this version. I like this version of Habib. So if you put a lot of gel on, especially if you have someone that has thin nails, and you put that under the light, gel cures from top to bottom, bottom to top, inside out, outside in. So it's racing to cure once you put it in the light. So that's why you feel it. Some customers feel it more than others because they're just more sensitive or they have thinner nails. And you're feeling that all that gel rush to cure. And so that's why you get a heat spike. So usually what you can do, like our lights have a dimming function. If you have someone that's more sensitive, you can turn it on, that dimming function, and it takes it down like 50%. And then it slows down the cure. So it's like slowly introducing them to the light pretty much. Or let's say you have a UV light, you can stick them in front of the light. It's called freezing. And it's just getting the product to start to set up and quit moving for you. And that usually takes care of it.
I used to explain it to my clients like it was getting into a really hot bath. So if you kind of tease your way in and bounce your hand in and out of the light, it's not that bad. It starts to kind of slowly set up. Just like if you got into a bath, if you jump all the way in, it's like scorching. But if you kind of slowly work your way in, it's, more tolerable.
That's a good definition. I like that.
Yeah, it kind of made them understand it a little more, because sometimes your clients would just, even if you told them to tease their way in or bounce in, they'd go all the way in, and then they're looking at you like, So,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they show up late.
Well, yeah.
Just kidding. Do not purposely fry your customer. Yeah, that's a good definition. I had one girl. Thank you, Habib. It was actually driving me crazy. He's getting the hair out of my face for me. What a good guy.
I can't get it, so
He's full serve.
Yeah.
there you go.
Thank you. It doesn't want to stay back. There we go. I had one girl that used to have her clients just go in and out of the light, like over and over and over, like hand in, hand out, hand in. And she couldn't understand why nobody's nails, the gel wasn't fully curing. And it's like because the customer kept doing it through the whole service. And it's like after you freeze them, they can actually go in the light and get the cure that they need. But they were never doing it. It was kind of funny.
My sister always, she almost enjoyed the burn. And she would say that it was, she's like, oh no, it's okay, I can take it. Like, it's
not a contest.
Yeah, she's like, it's searing the nails onto my nail. I'm like, it's not though, you're just hurting yourself.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might want to get some help for that.
Yeah, she's not a duck, that one.
Sisters always are. Yeah, gels they've come a long way since I started. When I started with gels, it was like one consistency. It was like honey. And you just had different colors of this one medium consistency. Nothing too thin, nothing too thick. It was just a pain to work with. I hated it. Go Go in.
I always thought it was interesting that they don't really teach gel in, or at least where I went. Not.
No, most schools don't.
Yeah, my school told me there's a chapter about gel. You can read it if you want. I was like, okay.
Yeah, good to know. Thanks. So we're just going to go through and put it on the rest of the body of the nail. All the way through. Gonna look at it from the side, make sure we get some enough in here. Now this is where we start kind of working back and forth. If you're not comfortable with gel and you're afraid of the run, we can just do a couple nails at a time. It's not going to cost you any time because while this one's setting up and we're getting it to get it to stop moving, we will be working on the other hand. So it's never really costing you time. I always feel like when I'm demoing gel and it's one nail, it seems like gel takes forever, but gel is really actually just as fast, if not faster than acrylic. So go ahead and switch it out. Are you enduring?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
It's nice to work on a nail tech. They know what they can take.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel it personally, but I'm not that sensitive. My nail plate's not that sensitive.
Yeah, every now and then I will. Usually when I'm working on myself and I put a big old blob of it on there.
Yeah, I don't go light with the gel either, so you let me know if you want it on half.
I'm fine.
So
I can take it.
now you're pulling a sister. So the one thing I love about gel is how easy it is to file though. Like I really just kind of slop it on. That's a technical term. Just slop it on. Because it files like butter. It's just so super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Get it through. Next nails.
Yeah, learning gel was not very graceful for me, but in the end I ended up liking it.
I had a heck of a time because I'm not light-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just mush it like I was trying to do acrylic, like I was trying to kill the nail.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult because I learned it after I came out of school, and I've been doing acrylic for a little bit, and then I would file through it because it's so easy to file. And I didn't understand it until actually Greg's the one that helped me with it. He would show me like pink and white gel especially. Ugh, nightmare.
Yeah.
And he would show me, and then I would go back and do it, and I'd file through my white every time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finally did it on me, and I realized that the pressure, even though it looked like he was filing just as much, that the pressure was completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So Steph loves me. She got me orange wood sticks. There we go. Okay, in. So even though we're going back and forth, it's really someone coming in and out.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the same amount of time. I say it's a bad game of the hokey pokey. You're just back and forth, back and forth.
A very ideal time to have two lights.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it really will go faster if you have two lights with gel. So it's kind of important, vital.
Can you build with all of the gels?
That's a good question. And yes, you can. I mean, we have you can really take the gels down into, I think it's 4 categories. Let's find out. So you have base, that's your foundation. That's where you're going to get your adhesion. You're going to make sure everything nice and solid, that you're not going to run into any issues. And then you have your builders. So flex, build pink, concealer peach, clear sculptor. What else we have?
The white sculptor.
Well, that goes into the other category for me. So all those are builder gels. You can build with them. The only difference is not only color, but it is consistency, viscosity. So the thickness of it is the difference, is the huge difference. So that would be, how do you want to work? And that's what I loved about Young Nails and their gel, is I had used a company, like I was telling you, that it was pretty much one consistency. You just had to deal with it. And that's not fun. So when I found Young Nails, it was like, well, what's the difference between all this? And it's basically, how do you want to work? Mm-hmm. And I use a lot of them because each one I use for different reasons. Like, I love the concealers for building structure and strength. I love Flex or Build to mix into with glitter. I love Build for capping the glitter, or Build Pink because it really makes everything really pop. Mm-hmm. Then you have your whites. We're going to take this off and then we're going to look to see. So I always like to take the forms off before I do my final cure. And that way we know that it's going to cure from the top and bottom and we don't have any cure issues. And because these are a little longer, we're going to make sure that we have enough strength and structure to them on top of it. Because gels are super, super deceiving from the front, but when I look at it from the side, I can see that you need more strength. So we're going to just plop some more on.
So you can add more once it's cured, no problem?
Absolutely. What you don't want to do is remove the sticky. If you remove the sticky, because sometimes we'll file and then go, oh shoot, I needed more. You can fix it. You just have to rough it up, protein bond again, and then add. But as long as you're leaving this layer sticky, you're not going to have to, you won't have to do anything to it, just add. That's a beautiful nail. This is the icicle nail. It's a very popular look right now. I'm going to be charging you $10 extra for it. So how much would you say your clientele was gel versus acrylic?
I actually started kind of transitioning some when first when I started getting better at gel. And when I was learning gel, I actually started filling a lot of my clients with gel, even though they were acrylic, because I felt like I could handle that more so than when doing a full set, it was a little out of my control.
Baby steps.
Yeah, so I started getting more familiar with it by doing fills over my acrylic.
That was a just...
That was a slop.
Look at that,
That was a slop on.
Look at that right there. We'll just take that off you.
And then towards the end, the last salon I was in a building that was a pretty small little business complex. And so they were bothered with the acrylic smell. Mm-hmm. So it was helpful for me to be able to break up my day. And I was able to do like acrylic and then a gel and then acrylic and then a gel to cut the smell down a little.
Oh, smart.
Mm-hmm. So I would say towards the end, I was close to about a 50-50 with enhancements.
Yeah, once I got over the sticky part of gel.
Yes.
I liked it. Yes. And once I figured out the pressure, and in fact, this is not how I normally do gel, to be honest. I usually do it with the back of my brush.
I was thinking that.
And that's how I finally was taught to do gel, because I had such a hard time with the float. So essentially we would just take the back of my brush, pick up a good wad of it, and then apply it that way. And I can get a lot more on my brush this way, and it taught me to float. Mm-hmm. So what this has done is it forces me to float. Mm-hmm. And now I can use the front of the brush because that taught me.
Right.
But it's just a quick, if you have trouble with that pressure, you go ahead and use the back of your brush. Try it. I love it.
Yeah.
And then I would, in Salon, it just depended what mood I was in once I figured out the floating.
Yeah, the sticky was hard. I had trouble with it being so sticky everywhere, and then I was the same way. I was pretty acrylic through and through, so I was heavy-handed. So it wasn't very graceful when I learned it, but...
Well, I think that's another thing that made a difference for me, was learning that I didn't have to make it pretty.
Yeah.
Because it did file so easy. Oh, same with acrylic. I don't make acrylic pretty either. I just get it on. As long as I have enough product, I figure I'm good to go. Instead of spending my time trying to perfect it. And some people are like, well, it's faster to perfect it. And you know what? If that's the way you go faster, more power to you.
Right.
For me, I start getting in this, oh my God, this area and this area. And I go into this mode of spinning out.
Yeah.
And it's not good for me. So if I just kind of just let it go and get the product on, I'm way better off. For me personally.
Yeah, I feel like everybody learns in their own way, and whatever works for you.
Exactly. Go for it. And that's, I have people that would come to class and like, I don't want to do it that way. And it's like, it's cool. I'm just trying to teach you a techniques or what we do, that's helped me. You don't have to do it. Whatever makes you go faster. Okay, I have to sticky me. Whatever makes you go faster, that's what you should do.
Right.
But I can say that these techniques that we do have really proven to be good for a lot of people, have been tested thoroughly. So we're not just, coming off the top of our head on it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch bits. Let's switch to our coarse safety bit. Let's file these suckers because they need it. Sounds like a plane taking off, man. I love our new e-file. I'm only on 15,000 RPMs, like it's gonna file. I might have to go down actually. It's gonna file this like butter. The dust getting to you, beavers?
Yep.
Sometimes just go through and take the bulk of the product down. And again, I don't even know, Stephanie, I mean, it's usually a light touch when we're electric filing anyway, but it's super light. If I put the same kind of pressure I put behind an acrylic nail doing this, I'd file right through it. I'd cause my own pain.
I did that when
You
I
did
first
that?
started, yeah.
Totally.
Didn't realize it. Hung right into it, and I'm like, oh, gotta reapply. I got a nice little divot there.
But you know what? That's fine. There's times that I still will do that, like just accidentally, and it's like it's not a big deal. It's just, you know what? Stop what you're doing. I'm gonna shorten this puppy. Stop what you're doing and add some more real quick. Not a big deal. It'll cost you 2 seconds. What you don't want to do is what I used to do and just stare at it. Wishing that I could go back in time and undo what I just did. That's not going to work. Not going to happen. Oh, look at that. Looks like winter is coming right there. What I like about that, I do this a lot with an X-cut too, but for someone that's starting, if you're going to come up the sides like I just did, use this coarse safety bit, not the X-cut. I did that, I learned that one the hard way. Fortunately, it was on myself. I became my own blood sister. It was wonderful. But yeah, you start out this way, but I love being able to kind of just take up my sides and do it all real quickly with the electric file. Some people will hand file the sides first, and that's fine. I just don't like picking up things twice, so I electric file and then I'll go into the hand file. So we had any more questions lately about anything? So Steph actually looks at all of our social media, and she is usually the one responding to you guys, giving you the information that you need. So she sees all your questions
So be nice.
No, opposite me.
Just really reiterating that the videos are just meant if you are looking to cut down your time. If you're looking for reason or ways to cut down your time, that's who we're targeting. It's not saying that you have to rush out and change your whole procedure.
Oh, please don't.
No, it's, if you're happy with your services and your clients are enjoying the time that you take and you're happy with it, then by all means, keep going.
Yeah.
We're just saying for those that ask, how do you cut down your time? These are some tips and tricks.
Right.
I think most people,
Yeah.
they're at least in the United States, it's pretty clear that, on the client side, we know it to be true that clients don't want to sit in the chair for an hour and a half. They don't.
So true.
That we know.
Yeah.
I mean, just from research,
Right.
we know that that's the case. So, in the States, it's a different market. Most people do. But you're right. If one person has a clientele that they're happy and they got a full clientele, that's amazing.
Yeah, then absolutely props to you. There's a clientele for everyone. There's a tech for everyone. So if you're looking for that long, luxurious, you want to sit around and hang out with your nail tech, then by all means.
They're out there, and
yeah.
that's fine. I'm just one of those people that I just can't. In fact, I went and got my hair done this weekend, and she's
God.
actually fairly quick. She is very quick, and I love the hair. Within 30 minutes, I'm just like, why can't we be done?
Yes.
Like, she's still weaving. She's gonna put a whole tinfoil thing in my head, and I'm like, I can't handle this. So I'm just not that type of person that wants to sit for a long time and get a service done. But each, and what you said too, please do not go out tomorrow and go, I'm only gonna e-file everybody. I worked myself into it because that's the pace I could go. For me, I would do a little electric filing when I first learned, and then I might go back to my hand file, or a repair would come in, and I'd say, you know what, I'm only going to electric file this whole thing, because it wasn't so overwhelming to me, and it kind of eased my clients into it because I had taught them not to ever electric file. So
Yeah, it's like a progression.
totally. It's like anything when you're first learning it isn't going to be faster.
No, of course not.
You gotta learn the technique, right?
Yep. Takes practice.
Everything does. Riding a bike's faster than walking, but when you first learn, it's not.
No, it's
And it's painful.
Yeah.
very painful. That's very true.
And yeah, just with all of it, with the cutting your time down, just start shaving 5 minutes off. Make that a goal, rather than saying, oh, I'm going to do my full set in this time. Just start, make goals for yourself.
Yeah, totally. I think that's a really good, your client doesn't have to know that you're timing yourself.
Right.
You don't want to put a stopwatch out. Your client might feel like you're being a little rushed. But if you, really pay attention, okay, prep took me 5 minutes. That's good. Or prep took me 15. Okay, what do I got to do to get that down? What do I got to practice?
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like repairs or on yourself is really going to be. It's not so overwhelming to think about.
My clients they liked the timing. They liked it being quick. I had one client that used to tell me that she wished that she could physically drop her hands off to me and go do other things while I did her nails.
You know what, I believe me, I always used to laugh at, remember the old, well, Steph's not going to remember, Habib, you remember the old 1 hour photos where you dropped off your
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be cool if there was just this drop box?
Yeah.
And they dropped their hand.
Just leave them here.
Their fingers off, and then in an hour they come back and they get them.
Yeah.
Everybody would love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, there's clients that do enjoy the luxury day-long spa service or whatever. But, some prefer the efficient, quality, fast nail service?
Well, I'm a McDonald's girl, so I wanna in and out. I
Yeah.
want satisfaction, and it sure tastes just as good to me as a good steak. So I think I'm cool with it. But there's a clientele for everybody.
For
out
sure.
There's a nail tech out there for you. There's a clientele out there for you.
Definitely.
Interesting to hear just certain comments about doing a fill in 30 minutes, it seems rushed, or doing a full set in 50 seems rushed, and it's actually not. The reality is that that's not the case, as that's what the majority of clients actually want, according to research.
You do a lot of research, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it is, that's what the majority of people want. It's not what everybody wants, but it's interesting. Like, this is how you do nails, right? This is not you rushing. This is you.
Oh, this is literally me. In
Right.
fact, sometimes I have to be honest. Even like when we did the gel polish removal and reapplication the other day, I looked at the clock because I do kind of have one that I can look at, and I thought, okay, Tracey, slow it down a little bit. But that was just me. So
Yeah, that's you going.
I'm like, why should I feel like I need to slow it down? As long as I'm giving a good result.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're not cheating it in any way. You're still checking all the angles, making sure everything's straight.
Yeah,
I wear the nails home. They stay. They're good
you just
quality.
don't get to wear them long,
Right.
but they would last.
Yeah.
Like, these are not, camera photography, like, let's get them as thin as possible. In fact, that would take me longer to do. These are salon, nails and I always, gauge it by what I pay for those. When I look at my customers' nails, I think, would I pay for that? And that's how I decide if they're good enough to go out the door.
Yeah.
Your middle fingers always hate me, by the way.
I know.
She has these middle fingers that kind of,
They just live their own lives.
They do.
They do what they want.
and they don't like me. But everybody has those fingers. So, let's see, what else can we talk about? I feel like there's always so much I'm thinking about before we start, then my mind goes completely blank.
Well, what about just like what's your approach right now? Like, what is happening as you're literally? That's what I'm always curious about. Is like
The
you've
thought
got the time.
process.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
There's no
always
thinking.
interesting and fascinating to understand that, like your process as you're going through it right now.
So I'm just really trying to even everything out. The shape is kind of already there. I mean, I know it looks funky, but there's a guide that I'm working off of. At this point, I'm just blending everything into itself. I always think of it as stupid woodworking. It's like you have to sand. You have to get everything perfect. You have the base, but everything has to be kind of finely tuned, and that's what this is for.
Oh, I have a good question. Do you buff, or do you buff, and why do you not?
Do I buff? And if not, why do I not?
Yes.
Okay, so no, I do not buff. Every once in a while, because an old school habit will come back to me, I'll take a buffer and I'll hit your edges just in case there's Sharpies, like so my client doesn't scratch themselves. But the days of buffing are gone, thank God, because it used to be back in the day. It was like, okay, we've done the 80 grit file. Now we're going to go down to the 100 grit file. Then we're going to go to the 150 file. And then we're going to go to a medium buffer. And then we're going to go to a fine buffer. And it was this whole thing. And it took forever. And then it was buffing and oil and buffing and lick the nail. And then buffing again, and it took forever, and then the whole new world opened up of gel top coat. But here's the thing, when that first came out, I would do the same thing. I would buff, and I would do all this, and I'd get chipping, and it was so frustrating because, so I'm just matching up her nails to make sure that they're about the same length. I didn't understand it, but you literally just want to leave texture to the nail, and that's what the gel top coat's gonna hold on to. And you need that. You need that.
Kind of gel in general, right? It likes rough or sticky.
Yeah, you got to have something for it. A little grit. You have to have something for it to grab a hold of. Otherwise, it's just going to chip right off. So you got to leave it textured. Fight the urge, girls. Fight the urge. No buffing allowed. If you do, just do the edges so there's no Sharpies so your client doesn't gouge their baby's eyes out. Scratch their husband unless they mean to. I always love doing that to Stan. Like when I first get a brand new pair of stilettos, I go home, the first thing and do is scratch them. Like, why?
Look what I can do.
Yeah, look what I can. Kitty scratches.
When I had my own set on the other day and Greg did them, he's like, dude, these are so sharp. I'm like, I like them like that.
I like them.
Little tiny knives.
Now, oh, you know what the question we get a lot is how we get our credit cards and stuff out of the teller.
Yeah.
And I have been stuck before when I had stilettos.
Yeah.
And not been able to get it out and had to have someone come up. But you have a great trick for that, which is...
I put a small piece of Scotch tape right on the end of my credit card, like just sandwiched around the end. And that way it's like a little pull. I can just tug it back out of the machine.
Genius. Freaking genius. This one I want to shorten just a little bit more.
It's a lifestyle, you know? You gotta learn how to deal with it.
Yep.
Like change, forget about it.
Yeah, let it go.
It's not mine. It's not for me anymore.
It wasn't. True. You're like, how much was that? Could I just drop? No, it's good.
Watching me try to get it is a whole fiasco in itself.
Okay, let's put some protein bond on. And let's put some top coat. Maybe we'll do some glitter. Why not?
This happens to be my very favorite color. And I used to have several clients that would get just
Cover
this
peach.
every time. Yeah, occasionally we would throw on like an accent nail, but
I love cover peach. It's one of my favorites. I think it really, I know we thought it was more of a people that have tans or, you know, something like that. But it goes with everybody's skin tone, I think. I think it goes with more people's skin tone than the cover pink. But that's just my theory. Okay. Let's see, what are we gonna do? Let's pull out some diamond dust. And we'll do... Just gonna put it down. Don't worry, guys. I'm wasting glitter, but I made a lot of money off of it. Let it go. Ooh, I like. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
and the glitter will just stay.
The glitter will just stay. It's gonna cure into that finish gel. I'll have a nice sugared looking nail, which is cool. I really like it. And I'm not usually a texture person. That's why I don't really care for 3D work or 3D art on myself, because I want to pick it, but this doesn't bother me.
Same. And it actually is one of the only ways I've found black glitter to look pretty.
Well, look black, right?
Yeah, because it always looks like plastic when it is.
It looks like dirt.
It takes away all of the texture to it.
It's like, that was lovely pepper you put in your nail. Thanks. Go ahead and stick it in. Let's see. This one. How we doing, Habib?
You're good. You're doing really good.
Poor Habib has to stand this whole time. Actually, not poor Habib. I don't feel bad for him.
There we go. That's the attitude.
That's the attitude.
That's what you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, he has been pretty quiet today, though.
I know. I'm like, are you sick?
Now, focused.
Focus. So this is kind of how I work even with regular clients. Not that you're not regular stuff. Is once we pick like a theme, like, oh, I want glitter or I want sugar or whatever, I really kind of just, as I go, decide what nail gets what. Go ahead and stick to the knife. Let's do this real quick. And then we're going to just dust you off and get off the rest of the nails. And we're just putting, stain resistant, I love it for glitter press. I love it for people that have stained nails, but I still love my finish too, because I like the fact that once it comes out of the light, it's just done. I don't have to worry about it. And when I switched from finish to stain resistant, I kept on forgetting to take the sticky layer off. Go ahead and go in the light. Perfect.
I forgot to remove the sticky layer once from my roommate's nails, and we immediately went to the mall afterwards, and there's not actually anything that really takes it off other than like your cleanse.
Oh yeah.
And so she had like lint and hair and like all these that we had to go back to the salon afterwards.
Textured nails.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I can't just wash my hands. I'm like, no. It doesn't really work like that.
A nice thought.
Like, good thing it was you.
We've all done something like that to a client. I always found like there was one thing, there would be one client out of all my clients that I would always mess up on. I remember her name was actually Chris. I still remember the poor lady. Very sweet. I would always forget either to do her thumb. I would forget something that she wanted. I don't know what it was about her. She was very, maybe it was because she was so sweet and quiet. I would forget. Okay. We have nails. We have blinged out
I love them.
nude nails. You feel better now that you got your length back?
I do.
Stephanie can breathe again. It's funny how when you go from one to the other, you feel lost.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay. Okay, you can go rinse and pretend pay me.
Okay.
46 minutes.
Well, listening to your favorite radio station.
I say this every episode, but this time I really mean it. For you to do that, Tracey, in 46 minutes, honestly, is pretty spectacular. I don't really have the words. Like, Stephanie kept looking at him as we were chatting over here a couple minutes ago, and I was like, no, I know they're beautiful. But as soon as I shot the beauty shot, those are like, that's an incredible set of nails. It really is.
Thank you, thank you.
How do you feel about it?
That length and that shape, I love on her.
It's
so
perfect.
yeah,
It's really perfect on
She got the long fingers and the long nails, and I thought they were pretty, but I'm a little partial.
Well, the thing is that you know her hands, and I think that's part of it too. Knowing your client's hands and maybe what length is appropriate for them. This length is like phenomenal for Steph, right?
It's amazing. I mean, and if you think about it, it's a longer length, so it kind of takes a little more work. It takes more product. It takes more applying. Like
Yeah.
I don't normally, like short nails, I wouldn't have to go back and forth and add more that much, but they just look good on.
Yeah. This is a true testament to the fact of something that we talk about here at Young Nails all the time, which is you don't need to paint a Mona Lisa in order for the client to be happy. Tracey's, like, she put a combination together that was very sophisticated and perfect for her client. And that set of nails is like, it's probably, for me, it's better than doing any type of like detailed hand art. It is stunning. Tracey, really great job. I really love this set.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And we hope you guys enjoy this episode. See you next week on Real Time.